What's up, guys? MrVerry, aka Adronus here, and today I am going to be bringing you the 37th installment of my the Life of Adronus series in the Cemetery Quarter in Yalahar. So there's a variety of creatures here. There's nightmares, grim reapers, uh, ghouls and skeletons, as you can see on the left and the right. These are kind of the newbier areas in the Cemetery Quarter. And there's also a spot with like banshees, mutated rats, giant spiders. So I'm going to go through and, show the entirety of the place. There's also zombies, necromancers, and trying to think of what else is there. Oh yeah, and night stalkers. And that's a really, really popular area. And I just managed to land an explosion to kill all those tarantulas. And this area is usually really hunted into. There's mutated bats here, giant spiders here, and unfortunately it looks like someone is here, so I'm not going to be able to show everything in its entirety. However, some of them are, well, I see the person down there. So you can see the floors here, multiple giant spiders on some of them, and just a tarantula on others. Very easy for me, but not going to show him because I don't want to bother that guy. He is hunting there. He did leave a letter. So I guess I'll do my favorite part of this section first, which is nightmares and grim reapers. So I'm going to put on my death-resistant equipment first, and death-resistant as well as death-resistant, sorry guys, as well as earth-resistant. And I'm going to lure these into this corner. And using explosions, as these are the most effective on nightmares. If you've watched my previous videos, you would know that I swear by explosions. One of my favorite runes. And before these two nightmares start taking off, I switch places so that, he doesn't run off and I don't have any problem catching him. So both of them are about to run as well. And they take opposite directions, but that's fine. And we get an ancient shield out of one, which is, I suppose that's pretty cool. And I need to put a life ring on, yeah. And concentrated demonic bloods, which always come out as strong health potions or strong mana potions. They're nice. And we get one of each on both, so that's fine. And I cannot cap that ancient shield yet, so not going to worry about it yet. It is a 900 gold item, but not too big of a deal. So this is, like I said, this is the section with nightmares and grim reapers. This place is stock full of nightmares. It is very, very popular. Very popular. And it appears there's one to the north who is shooting at me as well. And I'm going to switch spots so that when the Scion runs, unfortunately, he's still going to... And that was a terrible avalanche. But we nail him, and we loot a crown helmet. So, hey, I guess it worked out in the end. And I got to use some pots up, as right now the crown helmet is too heavy. But it is not heavy now. So we get the crown helmet, which is cool. I actually killed a shitload of nightmare scions and nightmares in a previous video, and didn't really loot much of anything. Oops. So, in the downstairs sections of this area are where the Grim Reapers are. And we're going to go down there. But first, I want to handle all the nightmares on this floor. Go around and, kind of showcase it. And you can see Rathzine being a little attention whore for the YouTubes. Fine by me. He's a good guy. He's one of my guildmates. And we got a single nightmare. I want to get a little more so I can make good use of my explosions. 3 is doable, however, it is certainly a little uncomfortable. And the way I have the nightmare that I'm fighting now positioned is fine with me. The worst thing that's going to happen is that he'll run. Hopefully he's going to run right against the gate, and he does, so that's nice. Gives me a little bit of time to finish him off. And I get a strong mana potion from the concentrated demonic blood, which is nice. As I've said before, nightmares are weakest to ice out of all the elements, although they are strong to ice, so the best thing to use on them as a sorcerer or a druid is physical damage, and that's explosions. Explosions, like I said earlier, work wonders. Definitely a very underrated mage necessity, in my opinion, especially for creatures like this. So, got a couple on me here, and I don't mind having 2 nightmares and a nightmare scion. The nightmare scion ends up getting beaten up really quickly, so, and he's going to take off. So I'm not going to worry about him right now. What I am going to worry about is finishing off this nightmare. And it looks like there's another one to the north who is just shooting, but it's a scion, so no big deal. And going to target the nightmare while using explosions on both. And that nightmare's about to run. And it looks like he's trapped. Didn't have to use an avalanche rune, but I tried to. And the scion is running, picked him off. And there's a scion over here that I lowered his HP. I don't know where he ran off to. I don't see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. So we'll go up and visit him. And a couple more nightmares. And ideally what I want to do here is just get rid of that scion, which pretty simple. And another nightmare, which is nice because that allows me to use explosions and feel like I'm not wasting doing so. And I'm going to switch places with him so that he doesn't have free reign to just run all over the place. As a druid, it's actually better because druids have the glacial rod and strong ice strike, which is fantastic for nightmares. And they also have physical strike, which is really good for nightmares too. He drops a death ring. Unfortunately, those are valued really low. The only thing they're really good for is PvP, and that's if you're just dealing with a shitload of mages. And hoping to get some more company on me, and I do. That lured them up here so that I could make them run north, or at least that's the idea. And I'm going to switch to avalanches so as to hit everything. And it looks like I've cleared the majority of the nightmares out. Now the Grims are actually really big spawns. These are about as good as the Dreyfus spawn. I personally like the Dreyfus spawn a little bit better. But I see a lot of really high levels hunting this spawn, so I don't know. So we'll go down this one first. And of course I gotta switch my equipment, make it a little bit better for Grims. And I believe there's only one in here, yep. And as I've said before, Grims are weak to both fire and energy equally. For you paladins, they are, I mean, what should be obvious, are obviously weak to holy. And that first life ring I slapped on was a bit of a dud. And you just saw he kind of kicked my ass a little bit there. I really shouldn't be fucking around with life rings while I'm taking on a Grim. But, and there he goes again with a very high hit, combination of melee and his beam. So that's what we're going to try to avoid. And it's good to use firewalls. And as a sorcerer, it's nice to use Great Energy Beam. And luckily through here, even if you see a couple, only one will be able to fit through there, which is definitely beneficial. And he gets a very mean melee hit on me right there. If you saw earlier, he meleeed me for up to like 655 damage. So their melee is about as deadly as their beam, which are both quite powerful. And trying to take this slow because I think there's 2 left up here. And same strategy as usual. So, one of the videos I'll probably be doing right after I do this one, actually, is, I got a suggestion for the Yalahar, and it's awesome that I got a suggestion for that, because I didn't even really think about doing them. I hunted them for a while when they were first released, but I haven't been back there in a while, so I'm very excited to go back and, you know, hunt some of them. They are susceptible to ice damage, I believe, more than anything. And they drop pretty good loot. There's huge packs of them. So there's definitely no shortage on the amount. And after you kill a certain amount, you make it so that the energized raging mage is no longer energized and is able to be killed. And he's got pretty nice loot, and some of it pertains to the elementalist outfit, which is a pretty difficult and cool outfit. Definitely worth obtaining. I haven't gotten it yet. I would like to, but I haven't really worked for it yet either. So, and we're gonna see what's left up here. And same strategy as usual. Just trying to avoid the beam and the melee at the same time, because in combination they can be deadly. And I'm going to check to see if there's one more. I don't know if there is or not. Nope. So, cleared this part, and now when we return to the upstairs, there will most certainly be some nightmares respawned. So I switched out to my equipment that's necessary for nightmares. And this can get very chaotic, going up and down here. If you go down to kill the Grims, make sure you are careful about coming back up, because you can see already I've got 3 nightmares on me. And I can handle 3 nightmares, but it's also quite vicious. And I have to watch my health very vigilant. So the way I have the nightmares now is real nice. The one I'm hitting will run to the corner, straight north, which is ideal. We don't want them running away like this one decided to. And it looks like a few of them are going to run away, of course. But nailed that one with a nice avalanche. Finished that one off with strong flame strike. And you can see they respawn very quickly. You saw I just killed this area. And he's coming back. And I'm not going to let him get away this time. So straight south is the next Grim area I'll be showing. And we'll get to do some more fun areas here shortly. And I actually need to switch my equipment. It's not ideal to be doing this while you fight the Grim Reaper, but better late than never, I suppose. And I'm back to normal EXP, which sucks, but what can you do? And there's two right there, so I'm not going to be able to show that area. I can handle it if I walled off one and then just did the other, but I don't want to waste all my supplies just showing Grims. I want to show the rest of the cemetery quarter. So, sorry guys, you're not going to get to see that one. The rest of them I should be able to show with ease. But we shall see. And they should both be running. Nope, just the Scion. So, handling this Scion. And finishing off the Scion. On to the normal Nightmare. This is definitely the hardest area in the cemetery quarter, but also the one I like the most, for obvious reasons. I am a higher level, I would like the harder areas. Still no real nice loot from the Nightmares, but the concentrated demonic bloods are real nice. So, switching out to my Grim equipment. And taking out this Grim. And you can see that on the map, where I am now, the spot above is a Grim Reaper spot. And the spot below is a Grim Reaper spot. And they are identical. Like, Sipsoft did not really try when they were mapping Yalahar. They were like, alright, we gotta make a bunch of creatures in the same spot, so let's just make them similar. Alright, so now to check the Grim Reapers below. And it appears there's two there too, and I'm not really gonna fuck with that. Like I said, I can wall them off. I could use Mana Shield, I could waste a bunch just to show it, but I'm not gonna do that. It's not really worth it to me. So, hopefully this one isn't just, you know, riddled with them like that. Like, 2 at a time is not so easy. It doesn't matter that I'm 224 now, you know. 2 at a time can still end me in one swift combo. And we get, unfortunately, a Dark Shield. I looted my first Skullcracker armor from Grimm's recently, which is really cool. And I think there's a second one down here, and there is. And that's why I was kind of keeping to the north of the room, to avoid getting this one, you know. And that Great Energy Beam only costs 100 mana, and does quite a substantial amount of damage. And you could use Energy Wave, but it's a lot more expensive, and it'll deal pretty similar damage. A little more, I think. A little more. And we got a Grim. Looks like one by himself, so that's promising. And I got a pot up. And the way I have the wall set up right here it forces him to walk around the stairs, which, yes, it does take away a second of firepower, but it also gives me a chance to let my moves recharge. And you can see there's one straight to the south beaming, so I'm going to grab him. And I didn't even really need to. He was already coming to the party. And same strategy. And let's see what we got. Concentrated Demonic Blood, which is luckily a mana potion, and a Demonic Essence. First Demonic Essence, surprisingly. So I'm going to check the north area out now. And then we'll go back down and clear the south. And, you know, kind of approaching a little apprehensively, as I don't want to get several on me. Like I said, it is not advisable. And ye should be going down here shortly. With any luck, I'll get a Nightmare Blade. And Ultimate Health Potion. Hey, you know what? It's better than nothing. And Life Ring and Soft Boots are still going strong. So, getting really good regeneration right now. And I think there's one... Nope, there isn't one more in here, huh? So, we're going to head to the south now. And take out the Grims to the west here. Now, when I get to the zombies, I'm mainly going to show the lower area. There's, like I said, there's Night Stalkers there. There is Necromancers, not many. It's mainly zombies, and I didn't bring great fireballs, so I'm really not going to be able to destroy all of them, and they're already... Actually, I did bring a decent amount of explosions, so I will be able to kill them. Never mind. I'll probably run around that area and just explosion the shit out of all of them. And there is a second Grim in this one. And when we go back up, they should certainly be respawned. At least one. Wow, they're dropping the hourglasses quite frequently, which is actually nice. And this Grim is respawned, as I said it most likely would be. And staying to the north, just in case the lower Grim does respawn. We don't want that. At least not him coming to me. And I get an Underworld Rod. And a strong, or great mana potion. And an ultimate health potion. So that was a nice finishing touch with the Grims. I'm alright with this. And we're going to head back up now. So switching back to the Nightmare equipment. And waiting for all of them to be together. And actually, I kind of want to point them toward the wall, so this is a little bit better. That way when they start running, they will run toward the wall. And I can just go like this. And hit all of them at once. And a Demonic Essence out of the Nightmare. And an Essence of a Bad Dream. And I don't think this one dropped anything. No, we didn't. So we've got one more Grim Reaper spot to check out. And... ooh, and I did not mean to do that. That was a huge waste of mana. But, whatever. Shit happens. And just picking off the Scion so I can focus the rest of my efforts on the Nightmare. And he's about to run. And another nightmare. So alternating between my strong strikes and ice strike to conserve my explosions. You know, like I said, I like to use explosions when there's actually two. And switching equip, since I am going to be heading down to Grimm's. And looks like I only got... And there's two right there. And it's only two in this entire place. I could, you know, just set up a firewall and go to the other end and show you, but there's nowhere to go down in that section anyway, so I'm not really too concerned. You guys basically, you saw the majority of it. You saw what the spawns are like. Like I said, Sipsoft made a lot of the spawns really similar. When they were making Yalahar, they were, like I said, they were just like, oh, we just need to put in a bunch of new shit and bunch in a bunch of creatures together. And I picked him off, and I'm going to have to chase this nightmare as he is going to be running. Luckily, he wasn't hasted. And there should be a couple spawned at the entrance. Now I can pick up this ancient shield, which hasn't been taken. No one's been here. With any luck, we might get some Boots of Haste. That would be pretty cool. I recently, actually just earlier, I had a really awesome Morlock hunt at Demona. Looted like 250k worth of stuff or something, like something crazy. And only using maybe 100k in supplies. So I'm going to show the top floor of this area last. I'm actually going to show the bottom area first, which I know is doing it a little backwards, but hey. So normally it's good to avoid getting close to Banshees, as they have a pretty nasty life drain, and they also have the song, of course, their famous song, which does a good bit of damage. And in this section, this is a really good area for level, like, I would say 65 to 100 paladins, sorcerers, and druids. There's a good variety of creatures here, and as you can see, it's not camped right now, and the EXP per hour is pretty good. I used to hunt here a lot, both on this character and my paladin. And we're going to take out this Braindeath as quick as possible. This is really the only area that you're going to find a substantial amount of Braindeaths, aside from Helheim, the Undead Island, which I already showed. And Banshees heal a lot, and because of that, I guess they drop Ring of Healings, which is awesome. Glad to get that. So we're going to do a circle around this bottom area, the rest of it. And then I'm going to go upstairs. I will be showing some of the zombies, the Night Stalkers, the Necromancers. And wow, that was some bad lag. Just checking to see if any of my guildmates lagged like that. And it appears they didn't, so that's a little scary. That makes me think it's my computer. And you can see the mutated bat just dropped a nice quantity. And while Braindeaths are strong to energy, I don't mind using Energy Wave to finish them off quickly. To the north here, we're going to find a giant spider. accompanied by a mutated bat and a Braindeath. So using an explosion as they were lined up properly for it. And there's also some bone beasts and some liches here. Like I said, there's a huge variety of creatures here. And as we run to the north, we run into a Banshee. And of course it runs, but it dies with ease. And I guess I'm gonna go clear this side. Straight to the north and around is just bone beasts and mutated bats. I'm gonna avoid doing that area just for time's sake. And because my computer's acting a little funny and I really don't want to die down here. And I believe there's going to be a Lich to the north here. Yep. Castle Shield would be great. But highly unlikely. Yeah, you know, he's just going to give me a worthless-ass staff. And we got a Banshee. And a Braindeath. Yeah, there's a significant clump of creatures here. You can see that there's stairs to drop down here from the zombies, but this is not an area you want to do that in. And we get a Haunted Blade out of a Braindeath, which is pretty cool. Like I said, that's really one of the best things they drop, and they don't drop it often. Certainly not often enough. And the Banshee's down, and I believe there's Banshees south, but first a Braindeath. So I finished the Braindeath off by using an Avalanche to hurt the Banshee, and I use a Great Energy Beam in order to finish off the Banshee immediately. And there's going to be another Banshee into the room to the south, I believe, accompanying this Braindeath. Yep. Actually, two. So, making it so the Banshee runs into a corner. And Banshees actually have nearly a 1% chance of dropping a blue robe, I think, which is the same as a Warlock, so that's really good. So we're going to do a full circle here, and you can see there's a Braindeath right here. And the Banshee to the east here should be respawned, which is near the stairs we first came down. And she should take off, yep. Hair of a Banshee, creature product. I'm glad they added the creature products to Banshees, because if you don't loot, you know, a blue robe or something, it really puts a damper on the hunt. And here's the zombie section. And they are 50% immune to fire, and they use mana drain quite frequently. Paladins and knights love to hunt them. Sorcerers and druids, not so much. And they do drop mana potions quite frequently, along with a gaggle of other loot. But, you know. So here's a Necromancer. And we're just going to bring him down real quick. And Necromantic Robe, which while they do drop it rarely, it isn't really worth much. And not really shit out of the zombies, not too surprising. And a Night Stalker. And we get this. Night Stalkers actually drop Haunted Blades and Boots of Haste, and among other things. They drop some sort of crystal, I forget what, but At any rate, you know that they actually drop pretty good items for how easy they are. They're very, very easy creatures. And definitely glad I brought a significant amount of explosions, because they are, like I said, they're 50% strong to fire. You can see my fire is just nearly futile. I think they also drop life rings pretty frequently. You know, not super frequently, but frequently enough. So, getting in this corner so that they automatically are in an explosion pattern. And to the west here, I think there's another... Nope, there isn't a necromancer. Maybe there is, I don't know. Maybe to the north. But you can see this area mainly consists of zombies. Not really... Oops. And this is where we killed the Banshee in the Braindeath. Didn't mean to do that. Not really too many necromancers. Definitely not a spot you want to go if you're trying to task. And we got another Night Stalker. And they've got terrible drop rates, but they do very rarely drop stuff, the Night Stalkers. And you can see I'm still losing mana, even though I'm not really using mana right now, because the zombies are constantly mana draining for small amounts. And they do drop a lot of, like, really small loot that you can sell, and as a knight, that's really nice, because it makes hunting here all the more worthwhile. But, like I said, certainly not a, mage spot, and by no means. And luckily that zombie already got... And they actually drop simple dresses too, which I find really weird. And I think here's the maybe third Night Stalker we ran into, possibly fourth, I don't know. And I think there's another necromancer to the northwest here, yep. So we'll gladly kill him. You know, he's actually got a chance of dropping something. And that is the entirety of the Cemetery Quarter. And there's also one more Night Stalker, so I think there's a total of 4 or 5 here. Like, something like that, you know. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Comment on this video with any feedback you have or any suggestions for future videos. Any games you want to see, really any genre, guys, just let me know. And if it looks interesting to me, I will certainly play it and record it. So, once again, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.